Welcome to Business Review, a daily program that delves into the latest and most significant economic stories, from stock markets to currency news. Business Review covers the most up-to-date developments in the global financial world.
World Health Organization or WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said China's flagship services trade fair can play a positive role in helping the world on the path to building more resilient societies and economies in the post-COVID-19 era. Tedros made the remarks while speaking via video link to attendees at the Global Trade and Services Summit of the 2020 China International Fair for Trade and Services in Beijing. Acknowledging the heavy toll the COVID-19 pandemic has taken on lives and livelihoods around the world, Tedros said, the WHO understands the desire for societies to reopen and for communities return to normal as soon as possible. However, he stressed that now is an opportunity for the world to come together and rebuild better than ever before. The Global Trade and Services Summit of the 2020 China International Fair for Trade and Services, one of the world's largest comprehensive fairs for trade and services, is this year featuring a series of both online and offline events due to the current global pandemic situation. The WHO chief also held the potential for the trade fair to drive forward new opportunities to create a better world in the post-pandemic era, by promoting the use of new technologies and innovation.
Extinction Rebellion climate change activists targeted Britain's primary financial district as they pressed on with a week-long series of demonstrations. Several hundred people gathered outside the Bank of England in the City of London to protest financial investment in the fossil fuel industry. The Extinction Rebellion group has experienced a forced hiatus in recent months due to the pandemic, but launched a series of localized protests in preparation for lawmakers' return to Parliament on September the 1st. The group is looking to put pressure on Muslim members of Parliament to pass a new climate change bill that will ensure new environmental protections.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson sought to assuage fears from haulage companies that a no-deal Brexit could disrupt supply chains. Johnson made the comments while touring a construction site for the controversial HS2 high-speed rail project. He also justified the UK's decision not to initiate testing for COVID-19 at airports, a measure used by a number of countries including Germany and Norway, saying it only works in 7% of the cases and did not elaborate. Johnson also responded to criticism of former Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott, reported to be in line for a job promoting British trade, by saying that Australia was a liberal country and had previously elected him.
The China International Fair for Trade and Services is an ambitious event that sends a positive signal to the world as most countries are endeavoring to contain the pandemic. The host of the event has proved that China's model of development is correct. Leading academic at Cuba's World Economy Research Center, Gladys Hernandez, said that the overall development of China's politics, society, and economy is with far-reaching vision. China's development in the areas of science, innovation, railway transportation, e-commerce, as well as its export of sanitation equipment and other manufactured goods indicates the country does play a role in the global fight. Hernandez added China has on many occasions said its initiatives that all countries should share and promote the building of a community with shared future for mankind. The Indian political expert Sudhirna Kulkarni said that China's accelerating development of services trade will boost global economic recovery as the pandemic has dealt a heavy blow to the whole economy. Agnes Legaspi is the Director of Exporting Marketing Bureau of the Department of Trade and Industry of the Philippines. She said 19 Philippine companies are participating in this year's CIF-TIS, and she said countries are facing enormous challenges amid the pandemic. Mayuri is the manager of the China Affairs Officer from Thailand's Kudun and Partners Law Office. She said the spirit of openness, cooperation, and shared future proposed by China is particularly important in the face of the current sluggish market.
Japan's tuna industry is taking an outsized hit from the coronavirus pandemic, pressuring wholesalers at Tokyo's sprawling Toyosu fish market and restaurants to adapt to survive. Demand for fresh fish, especially the so-called king of sushi, bluefin tuna, has declined after the coronavirus crisis decimated orders for large events such as shareholders' meetings and wedding banquets. In normal times, customer orders for wedding banquets or funerals, which can be attended by hundreds of guests, can come in for 30 or 40 kilos of tuna at a time. That is much bigger than a 10-kilo order from a sushi restaurant or a 5 to 6 kilo order from an izaka, said Kimiyo Amano, a 46-year-old tuna trader and sale manager of Inroya Soiten, who works at a store minutes away from the Toyosu market selling high-quality fresh and frozen tuna, including imported ones. While the shops where Amano works had seen a modest rebound in demand from restaurants after Japan ended its state of emergency in late May, orders are suffering from the lack of events and a slowdown at upscale dining bars, such as those in the Ginza area. Yasuyuki Shimahara, who owns a dining bar in an upscale Tokyo business district that specializes in tuna dishes, started selling boxes of frozen tuna online from July to offset the heavy hit from his restaurant's customer slump. So far, Shimahara has gotten about 200 orders of tuna meat sets that he sells online, each just over $50 for 380 grams. He plans to start selling boxes with more expensive fatty tuna online later this month, which will cost up to $80 each. To help his customers, Shimahara has added instruction booklets in the boxes sold online on how best to defrost and serve the tuna. While businesses like Shimahara's had hoped activity would pick up from May onward, many Japanese remain wary of venturing out to restaurants. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations said Japan's imports of high-value tuna jumped 10% in 2019, while bluefin imports surged 13% as businesses prepared for big events like the 2020 Olympics, which was later postponed. In 2018, global imports of tuna were valued at $15.7 billion, while Japan was the biggest tuna importer that year. But the pandemic has hit the industry hard, and Japan's tuna imports fell 18% in the first 6 months of 2020 from a year earlier.
This has been Business Review, your daily source for the most critical financial stories. Tune in next time for the latest financial news impacting the world economy.